boy. What time is sunrise?
Sunrise is at 6:59 a.m.
Oh boy, an hour from now.
All right, buddy, let's go. Time to head on out. Thank you. Hi, Tux. Hi, buddy. Don't go get in front of the car, though. Hi, bud. Good morning, Ruby. So Johnny and I have a minor crisis this morning. We were totally out of supplies for making our kind of coffee. So I guess that means we're headed to Starbucks this morning at 6:36 and we're out of here because we have a caffeine emergency. So prior to the last update, as far as I know, when you would get out of the car at night and you would press pause on your song, when you would get in the car the next day, most of the time it would start back at the beginning of the song. So like a really good song like this, you would get to hear it all over again. And I know me and some of the other divas thought that was great. And now it's like we get in the car and it starts back up where it left off. It remembers the position in the song. And let's just say we're not finding that to be how we want it to work. Probably some other people did, but no, I was really wanting to start this one over from the beginning this morning. All right, it's 6:46. I got places to be. I haven't had any caffeine. Y'all need to speed it on up this morning. Well, the sunrise ended up being a little bit disappointing this morning. It started off looking good and then it kind of fizzled. Kind of a frustrating drive in even after I got my caffeine because there was a Chevy Silverado extended cab raised suspension that thought he owned the road and drove his vehicle like it was a weapon this morning, and I was very glad to get away from him. And yeah, a couple other drivers in traffic this morning jockeying for position because you know those 2 or 3 seconds are going to make all the difference. Not. Bye, buddy. Have a good day. See you this afternoon at Robotics. I'm headed straight back to Fuquay this morning after scheduling and rescheduling several night times vet appointment. Today's the day, yeah. Gotta have her over there at 8:30. So I've got plenty of time to get home, load her up, and get her back over there as long as I don't get lost playing Pokemon Go. Yeah, I'll have to play after the vet. This truck in front of me has no cover and he's got all kinds of limbs and stuff and he's losing stuff out all over the road. So I had a little scare coming down 401 near Wake Tech. You know, there's all these work vans out there and a lot of them have ladders and other stuff up on top of them, and apparently, best as I could tell, a 1-inch diameter metal bar rolled off of one of the work vans, and the first I realized what was happening is it was rolling, I guess, towards Ruby on the ground. But I did not run over it, and I'm pretty darn sure it didn't hit Ruby because I think I would have known that for sure. I heard a clank. I heard it hit the asphalt, not hit a vehicle. And I got a picture of it in the rearview mirror on the ground pretty close to the car. And then the guy in the work van next to me, he got out and secured the bar in his van. And we went on down the road. I'll double check Ruby when I get to the house. I've got, you know, his van on dash cam and stuff, but I really don't think it hit us. I would have known that for sure. And I don't know for sure that it came off of the van that stopped to pick it up because I didn't see it fall, but maybe the dash cam caught a little more of what actually happened. But you know, if you think about it, you're on the road with these work vans that have things more or less, ladders and things more or less secured up on those tracks on top, and all it takes is, you know, not having had enough caffeine or something that's not as got as many hold spots like a ladder, like the small pipe. How do you keep it up there? I don't know. It was kind of scary. It's bad enough. First I'm having plants, you know, branches fall off a truck at us, and then I'm having metal pipe fall. You know, it's like, please don't let anything else be out of the ordinary this morning, please. I got home and I got my little sweetheart loaded up. She's not happy. My poor sweetheart, she's so scared. Those doggies are barking. I had to go for a ride in the car. You'll be fine. Hi, Jojo. Hi. See those doggies, those loud doggies don't even faze you. You're so used to it. Don and I got all my robotics equipment loaded up. Bye, Donnie. Bye, sweet pea. I'll see you after robotics and after Whole Foods.
Wow, busy day afternoon for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna be tired when I come home. Thanks for getting me a little nap.
Yeah, it's a pretty day. It's not quite so oppressive out here today.
Oh, I don't know. It's still feeling pretty sticky to me.
No,
I wouldn't want to have to spend a lot of time out here.
I agree.
It's poor people without power. I do. Yeah. Everything's looking normal in the big little city this afternoon. Today the kids and I are going to be starting to program the robots for the first time. I'm going to teach them how to make them move forward and show them the basic constructs for getting the robots to do what they want it to do. Hopefully they'll enjoy that hands-on activity. I saw someone on Facebook today show a picture of them charging at the Wilmington Supercharger and said how glad they were to be a Tesla driver. So I just wanted to come in here for a minute and check out what the status shows online and just make sure it lined up with that. I'm sure they're there charging, and it most likely, of course, does say that the charger is online, but let's just take a double check. And yeah, Don had kind of warned me about this is the one in Wallace, and Wallace still says it is closed. That's a little more than halfway to the beach. We know I-40 and 95 down there are just nothing short of a mess. But I had heard that McFair Shopping Center had gotten their power back on. Alright, okay. Ten of 10 stalls available, and it does appear to be open, so that's good news, and just like it was reported. The other one to check is Lumberton. I don't want to go to Lumberton. See, it'd be nice if you could, tapping on it, it looks like it's still offline. And honestly, nope, four stalls available. And Fayetteville, 15 to 16 stalls available. So I don't know why Lumberton. I guess because I've navigated there. Yeah, when I navigated there, it made it go gray. But at any point, so the only one that looks like it's down still due to flooding is Wallace. The boys did really good today. I was impressed. They had the robot moving just like I asked them to do, and some of them even moved on to trying to test out the ultrasonic sensor, and they really seem to be picking it up really fast this year. So that's very promising. I was quite pleased.
I thought this was funny. This is a septic waste tank company, and their slogan, "We want your stinking business." It's really funny to me, at least.
So Johnny's helping me do all of my shopping. And tell me about the pizza oven.
It's out of order.
It's out of commission. They can't make pizzas today, so we're gonna have to have Mom's Special burgers somewhere over the rainbow.
Mom had to load up all the groceries back here because if you see in the back, robotic stuff is back there. And my sparring gear and book bag.
One of these days I'm gonna remember there's a frunk. Yeah, I probably could have fit a lot of those groceries up there. It's already 5 o'clock. It's a long day when we have Lego League and then stop for groceries, but it's worth it. I like working with the kids. Traffic is so slow. It's 5:38 and we're still not home. As a matter of fact, we're not even close to home yet. Yeah, maybe I should have gone back over to US 1, but I don't think there's a good way this time of day. It's just slow. I have not heard from Tesla today, and Dawn is going to give them a call and see if we can get an update on Sapphire, because we know you guys want to know, and we want to know too. Just hoping that they've pinpointed the problem, even if they have to wait for parts or something. Any kind of an update would be a good update, I think. It's a full court press to get everything unloaded out of the car. Tesla had updated us yesterday morning about Sapphire. You know, they were closed a few days because of Florence, but they had opened back up, and they had let us know they were getting caught up, and they would, you know, we're going to start diagnostics again. So we hadn't heard anything today, and I know you guys are just as anxious to hear as we are. And so Dawn called and talked to Tesla.
Yeah, and they gave me an update. So the record, they had put some lines of code in the record that they were questioning. They suspect, they didn't say this was bad, but this is the area. The engineers are looking at it. It's getting a lot of attention because this is the only Model 3 that's reported this problem, so it's the first. So, you know, normally when you're the first time diagnosing something, you kind of have to bleed on it a little bit. So unfortunately, there's really no great update that, oh, we figured it out. But they did say tomorrow they're basically, the engineers are thinking it over tonight, and it's going to have an action plan for tomorrow, and they're going to pull it in and do whatever the engineers say to do first. And so hopefully we may have an update tomorrow, a good update, or if not, for sure Thursday that we'll have an update. So we'll see. Got my fingers crossed. I miss Sapphire.
Yeah, seriously. So what did we always tell our managers when we had a critical problem?
We have the best. Everything is being
We have the appropriate resources allocated. Yes, we have our best engineers on the problem.
Yes, that's right. The appropriate resources are on the job.
And usually that was true. Normally, it really was. And I also remember we had a problem that it may have taken us a year to figure out.
Oh well, yeah, there were some humdoozy that we again. Now I didn't do this, but one of the I would say that the sharpest person on our team, he literally rewrote a whole chunk of code.
Huge chunk of code.
And that was like this.
He wrote around the problem.
That's right. Well, he just knew the problem was in there somewhere, and he couldn't figure out that code or where exactly the problem was. So he said, you know, I'm just gonna rewrite it and clean it, make it more efficient, and just approach it, throw away, and do over. And that's what we did, and that's how we fixed it. So, you know, let's hope that we don't have to take everything out of Sapphire, toss it, and put all new stuff in there. We don't want that. We would rather them to be very surgical and replace exactly.
Yeah, I'm not expecting that, but I do remember a couple of problems that were so tough that they went on for a while.
That one took. We had a very understanding customer, because it's extremely hard to reproduce that problem. That's the problem with software. If it's a solid bug, it's usually pretty straightforward.
Which this one appears to be,
or if you have a case, a test case that you could run that recreates the problem, it's pretty much, that's 85% of the problem. And the coding of the fix is usually pretty straightforward. But, you know, software bugs tend to be extremely intermittent, and it's like they don't leave a lot of tracks behind them. Sometimes you just have to speculate and hypothesize. But I don't know. Tesla's got a lot more logging. You know, that's gotten to be a really big thing. The amount of logging that things do nowadays, that was different than in the old days. I mean, we had a trace file, and you know, it's like, that's nice, but usually just told you where to start.
Yeah, well, We're just being understanding because they are working the problem,
Well,
and it's not straightforward, or they would have had it fixed already.
Right.
And,
well, Thursday and Friday last week were a bust.
yeah,
And
that's not their fault.
I think they actually work on Saturday, but I don't think they worked this over the weekend. And so Monday was just getting everybody refocused, getting back on and stuff like that. So, you know, I guess I would have been surprised if they would have had a massive update for us today. That would be it. But they did say that they're done with the remote diagnostics. That at this point they've gotten all the diagnostics out remotely. That all the debug stuff that they're going to get from the car. They're satisfied. They've got it, looked at everything in it that needs to be looked at.
So when we have another update, we'll give you another update.
Exactly.